Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this virtual open house hosted by Hult International Business School. My name is Kalle. I am the Vice President of Finance and Strategy for Hult. I'm originally from Sweden, but I've spent pretty much my whole life building this university, living in Australia, Hong Kong, Switzerland, and the UK, working all over the world with our different campuses. With me today, I have Max Neal, who is a great colleague and an even better friend. He is our professor of practice and the Senior Director of Student Development at Hult International Business School. He will join us today and talk about our unique curriculum and the curriculum design and the thinking behind it. In addition to that, I have the two real stars, the people you're here to meet, and that is, of course, our wonderful students. With me today, I have Pinyapat from Bangkok, Thailand, and I have Yihan from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Max is based on the London campus. Pinyapat and Yihan are both currently on our Boston campus. This is the first time we're doing a virtual open house specifically dedicated for East Asia and Southeast Asia. So I'm super excited to have you all here and meet you in a time zone that suits you. What it means, however, is that it is close to midnight, or it is midnight for Pinyapat and Yihan, and it is 5 a.m. in the morning for Max. Me, myself, I'm in Delhi today in India, so it's a bit, it's a nice morning for me. But thank you very much, everyone, for being here. So today we're going to talk about the three key things behind Hult. The primary one, the most important one, being our practical curriculum. The second one being the design of the curriculum. The second one is the design of the student body. And thirdly is the design of the school itself. Finally, we will talk a bit about campus life and student life and the application process before we open up to a Q&A, starting with Yihan and Pinyapat. So with all that being said, let's get this show started. And we're going to do that straight away with a video illustrating our curriculum, hoping that technology will stand by. So here we go.
We humans, we love to learn. We've got the hands, feet, ears, eyes, mouth, nose, and brain to figure out what works and what doesn't work from the world around us. It's instinctive, it's natural, and it works. So why not learn business this way? The secret to building the skills employers actually want is practice. Practice, practice, practice. So why not start in the classroom? At Hult, we take the theory, the research, the expertise, and we put the challenge into your hands so you find out what happens for yourself. We're not just about what sticks in your brain, but how you flex it. Because real life is not found on an exam. And with one-to-one coaching from day one, there's no way you're not hitting your goals. Thanks, coach. Graduation, it's more than finals. Showcase the skills you've learned with an online portfolio that speaks volumes in interviews, because grades alone don't show who you really are. P.S. With 5 campuses around the world, you're about to go global. There are a lot of places where you could learn about the business world. There aren't many places where you can live it. To learn business, you've got to do business. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hult, for those made to do.
Beautiful. Okay, so what this video is meant to illustrate is the value of practical learning and why we are so incredibly focused on practical learning at Hult. And it is nothing controversial to say that human beings are biologically not wired to learn by memorizing text. And yet that is how traditional universities operate. When I went to university, I sat in a big lecture hall with 300, 400 students. We all took notes. We listened to the professor. We went to the library. We memorized the books. I wrote my exam, and then I forgot everything as I moved on to the next course. It's not my fault. It's not anyone's fault. That is just how human beings function, right? But the idea is that if education could be more like learning to ride a bike, learning to swim, learning to play the piano or the violin or the guitar, learning public speaking, like we all have to do at some point. You're super scared, you're forced on stage, you have to do it. You come off the stage feeling like you lost 5 kilos, right? Because you're so relieved. But you also feel, I can do that. And if I can do that, what can I do next, right? And that is the confidence that comes from experiential learning. And that is why we are so focused on it, because it helps you grow and develop. And that is why we have my friend Max here today to talk to us about the practical curriculum at Hult. So please, Max, take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kalle. I appreciate it. It's a real honor to be here with you all today to tell you about the curriculum. And I can say that there are not many people in the world that could have me awake, coherent and talking at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning other than Kalle. So he is a true friend and someone that I'm a pleasure to work with. So let me tell you a bit about myself, and then I should tell you a little bit about the curriculum. My name is Max Neal. I'm a professor of psychology and management here at Hult. I'm also the Senior Director of Student Development. But just like our curriculum, my career has gone beyond business as well. I started off working in professional sport. I worked in rugby as something called a performance analyst, and then with our Olympic teams here, Team GB, on something called coach development, which was essentially teaching our coaches and our athletes how they learned and how they improved their performance. One of the key things that I did there is I looked at how our nervous system works in order for us to learn from what we do, whether that is improving your performance on a field or your performance on the side of the field as a coach. From there, I did my master's in applied neuroscience and my PhD in applied cognitive neuroscience, where what I looked at is how we learn from mistakes in particular. What happens in our brain to go from experience to knowledge. And so that is what I want to talk about today, is how our curriculum goes beyond business to turn practice and theory into real learning. So with that in mind, our program has 4 key pillars that I want to talk to you about today. 4 things that our method of learning through experience is built upon. The first of those is challenge learning. This is the idea that we put these ideas of business into practice. Every single course, every single module that we do here at Hult is built around a central challenge. Whether that is putting together a business plan, consulting for a live client that comes into our classrooms, a real business, whether that is a hackathon or a simulation, everything that we do is built around putting knowledge and theory to the test, seeing what happens when that knowledge meets the real world. On top of that, you need to be able to turn those events into experience. And the way that we do that is through something called personal coaching. Every single student that comes here to Hult has a different experience. And in order to take that learning from that experience, they need someone to work with them on an individual level. And I'll tell you more about that personal coaching a little bit later. The next part is skills development. Why this is so important is that ultimately knowledge is incredibly valuable, but what makes individuals even more valuable in the workplace is the skills that they have, and more importantly, how they apply those skills. So we focus from day one on building some core skills and core mindsets for our students here at Hult. And what brings this all together at the end is a portfolio. My wife, who is currently asleep in the next room, and so I have to be incredibly careful with how loudly that I'm speaking, but my wife was an art student. She studied textiles at university. She produced incredible works of art. And when she graduated from her university degree, she graduated with a massive binder that showcased how amazing she was as an artist, so that she could go to any potential employer and show them exactly how good she was. And when I saw that, I said, why on earth do our business students not do the same? So what we do is make sure that you are not just good at solving these challenges, you understand about yourself and you have key skills, but you're able to demonstrate that to future employers. So what does this mean in terms of practical challenges? Well, business is about getting things done. So the way that we have put this into our curriculum here at Hult is by designing practical challenges, not just theory. Knowledge is important, but how you use that knowledge and how you put that to the test to solve these challenges is critical. So whilst we have lots of different core modules and specialization modules here at Hult, where you'll learn things around general business as well as specialized knowledge in the discipline that you want to go into, whether that be finance, whether that be marketing, whether that be management, everything is built around those core challenges. A project where you're able to apply those learnings and put them to the test. So what do these challenges actually look like? Well, we have several core modules, 8 in fact. These are our core business curriculum that all students do whilst they are here at Hult. They are a wide range of different things. So for example, in the first 7 weeks of arriving at Hult, we ask our students to put together a business plan for a startup. That goes from their first idea for a product or service that can be turned into a successful business. And what we do is we give the core information that those students need in order to build out a business plan. In the second half of students' very first term, they then look at the social impact, about business being more than just profit, and actually how business can be a vehicle to improve people's lives as well as the health of our planet. In the third module, our third core module, students then consult for a large multinational company. Of course, this is in a more safer environment than a live client straight away, but they look at how do businesses deal with the future, with uncertainty and unknowns. I won't go into the details of every single project here, but I will mention our final big project, which is something called the Hult Business Challenge. This is where we bring in a live client. This term, we are working with technology giants like SAP, as well as professional services giants like Korn Ferry. In the past, we have had incredible organizations bringing real life business problems into the classroom for our students. Organizations like McLaren, eBay, Lego, and a wide range of different businesses. But this is just the core. This is the foundations, the central business knowledge, things like your accounting, your management, and your economics. Of course, our program is designed to also give you the specialist knowledge that you need to succeed in different disciplines. And this is why we have specialization modules, where our students can get either a major or a minor in the different disciplines. Now, of course, as a psychology professor, I can tell you that the best module is, of course, psychology, but there are others available. Now, this is where students have some real choice about what they learn. You can decide, if you have 8 open electives, you can decide to do a major in marketing as well as a minor in psychology. But you can decide, depending on what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your own interests are, what you want to do. But this is a very big choice, and we don't expect you to make it alone. And that is why you have access at Hult to a one-to-one coach. So what do we mean by support here at Hult? Well, when we talk about support here at Hult, we don't just give advice. What we do is we give specialized one-to-one coaching. You will work at Hult with your personal coach. We call these our student development coaches, and this is the team that I am responsible here for at Hult. We have got a brilliant team of amazing individuals with a vast range of experiences that work with you on a couple of core different things. Firstly, understanding your feedback from assessments, getting personalized coaching, figuring out how your learning connects with your future career, and most importantly, making sure that you are motivated and enjoying your time here at Hult. So, where will you see our coaches in the curriculum? Well, the first place that you will see them is in one-to-one coaching. Now, these one-to-one coaching sessions can range from figuring out your career to working with you on developing a skill to perhaps helping you deal proactively with stress and anxiety. The other place that you might see our coaches is actually in the classroom, delivering skills workshops on a one-to-one basis. For example, delivered a workshop yesterday on communication skills, where we helped our students to understand how they are perceived and some of the unwritten rules in communication. We also want to give you some key career tools, whether that is the ability to talk about yourself and express the value that you bring to an organization. But lastly, your coach will help you to make the most out of HALT. As you have all seen in the chat, our students represent a diverse global business environment. We have a ton of different nationalities, and Kalle will talk to you later about how the program is designed deliberately to bring in a wide range of nationalities. But that comes with a caveat. If you do not find your people, the people that you belong with in your community at university, you will not learn. And so one of the critical roles that our coaches play is helping you to find that role. So that is very, very broadly how our coaches work with students on the curriculum. But what I want to talk about as well is how you will be assessed. So one of the things that we look at here at HALT is not just testing your ability, as Kalle said, to retain information. What we want to know is how you can demonstrate those core skills, your ability to communicate, your ability to collaborate with other people, and that is not done through an exam. So what do we assess? Well, absolutely, knowledge is still really critical. Knowledge is still really important. So 40% of your assessments at HALT will focus on the essential knowledge that you need. So let me give you the example of the Startup Challenge. We will look at your ability to understand the supply and demand curves within economics, but we will also look at your skill of communicating that value to a future investor, as an example. So what we do is we still have assessments that focus on core knowledge, but we do more than just exams. Now, my work in neuroscience has looked at exactly this. And one of the things that we have learned is that stress or engagement at the moment of encoding, so when a student practices a skill and they sit in class, that drives real learning. But stress at the moment of retrieval, like for example an exam, actually hampers learning. So we have designed our assessments with the neuroscience of learning in mind. And what we know is that when we get students to do practical challenges and assess their skills, that is where long-term learning comes. So what we do is we take all of those assessments of skills and mindsets, and we pull that data together into what we call our skills and mindsets dashboard. Students have access to this dashboard from core module 3, where what we do is we assess you on the same skills from day 1 until the day that you graduate. Of course, with the standards for an A getting higher each module. But by assessing these skills consistently, what we're able to do is give you a dashboard where you can see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and ultimately be able to pull all of that stuff together into a portfolio. This is like a dashboard of all your achievements. You can put together not just the amazing work that you've done in class, but also the fantastic work you've done for clubs and societies in here as well. Just like my wife, who graduated with that massive binder of all of her achievements, when you leave HALT, you have the ability to showcase these achievements as well. So when an employer asks you, which nationalities have you worked for, rather than just talking about it, you can show them. When you talk about which companies you have consulted for, you can show them. You can demonstrate that real experience, that you are a global citizen that understands the global business environment. But not just that. When they say to you in that interview, or when you pitch to an investor, what are you good at? You're able to not just say communication, but explain why. Demonstrate your self-awareness and what skills you bring to the table. Show them that you can do things like building a team, that you can think critically, that you can create solutions. And this is why our practical program is so important, because it gives you the ability to demonstrate that. So to summarize the design of our curriculum in 4 things. The first thing that our curriculum is built on is learning by doing challenges. by putting knowledge to the test. The second thing is giving you the personalized support that you need in order to be successful. The third is developing the skills that will make you valuable in the workplace. And the fourth thing is putting this all together into a portfolio that shows off just how incredible you are at the end of this program. But the program alone is not just what makes Hult special. As I'm sure Yihan and Pinyapat can talk about as well, what makes our experience truly special is our student body. And with that, what I would like to do is pass back over to Kalle to talk to you a little bit about how we intentionally design our student body to be representative of the wider global business environment. Kalle.
Thank you very much, Max. I never get tired of listening to you talk about the design of the curriculum. And it is exactly that. I know there was a lot of information going in there, but the two key things to take away, I think, always is you work in a team to solve a problem. You don't study subjects in isolation, because the world works in problems. The world is not today it's marketing or today is accounting. That is not how it works. Instead, we'll teach you the finance and the marketing and the accounting and the business analytics and the management that you need for the purpose of solving a problem we know you will encounter in the real world. And the second aspect is the exam. As Max say, becoming someone who is very skilled at memorizing text to take an exam in a high pressure situation, that is not a skill companies are looking for, unfortunately. They need you to be a great communicator. Companies need you to know how to function and get along with people from all over the world, etc., etc. Memorizing text, however, is not a skill that is sought after by employers. And that is why the exam is tailored the way it is at Hult, to give you the confidence, to give you something to build on, in that you go on stage and you pitch and you have a perfect presentation and you hand over your solution to the problem to the professor. Thank you very much, Max. Next, we're looking at not just the design of the curriculum, but also the design of the student body, because this is a crucial pillar when it comes to Hult International Business School as well. Now, what does this mean? We have 149 nationalities on campus, or I think it might even be 150 now. But more importantly, no nationality represents more than 8% of the student body. This is by design. And what it means is that if you go to a traditional university in the United States, there's 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 students, 85, 90% of them will be American. That is maybe not an ideal environment if your dream is to function in the global economy, right? We need to bring the global economy to the classroom. Now, there are universities that have more than 149 nationalities, but not over such a small student body that Hult have. And also where no one nationality represents more than 8%, right? This is very much on purpose. This is to bring the world in around you, because that is half the education. Solving the business problem that Max is talking about is crucial. But the other half of that is maneuvering the relationship within the team. You arrive from Bangkok or Phnom Penh like Yihan or Pinyapat, and you're suddenly put into a team with someone from Canada and someone from Brazil and someone from France and Norway and Japan. And that is something that you have to navigate straight away. And it's hard, but it's better that we do it at uni than that you have to do it in your first job, right? So that is why the student body is designed this way. And we're very proud of it. Students love it. It brings students to Hult. It brings great professors. It's much more fun to teach a classroom of 50 nationalities. And it brings companies, like Max mentioned, because the companies get a global generation in one building. That is why the companies come, because they need the students' help to solve their problems as well. Third, it's the design of the school itself. Now, what does that mean? First of all, at Hult, we teach only business. Again, by design, every student on campus needs to have a love for the same subject. Everyone come, even if you're a business analytics or a marketing major, business is what drives the students, and everyone around you have a passion for a similar topic. Second is the location. We will build our campuses small. We will never be a 15,000, 20,000 university. We build our campuses small to hold about 1,000 students. The average classroom size is 48 students to a professor, because we want to do practical learning. You can't do that if you have a student body of 20,000 students. And our campuses are always located in the central business districts of the cities that we're in. London, Boston, Dubai are our main campus destinations for undergraduate. San Francisco is also available for summer rotation. And it's the same curriculum being taught in all these campuses. And we encourage students, we don't dictate it, but we encourage our students to go to the different campuses. Because again, it's practical learning to adapt to a new city, to go out of your comfort zone. We know it will mature you. We know that it will help you develop and build an international network at the same time. So, how does it work that you can do rotation and you can go to different destinations? Well, it goes hand in hand with our triple accreditation, which is what you see down the bottom here. Hult International Business School is in the 1% of business schools globally that have triple accreditation, meaning that no matter where you decide to graduate, you get a diploma that is valid in that destination, whether it be the US or the UK. In addition to that, there are rankings that you can find on our website. There are key partnerships that we're building on with Ernst & Young and Brown University as well. All this, I encourage you, if you're interested in Hult and you want to know more about it, it is all on our website for you to look at. So, to illustrate what this would look like for a student that have done a 12-year high school student, you can start year 1 in London, doing 3 core modules, business problems. This being fundamentally an American curriculum, there's usually a big course catalog that you can choose from and you can play around and explore before you pick your major and your minor. Not at Hult. You have to do our core modules. It is all business. And in the first year, you do your first specialization. Then you can decide to do the summer in Dubai. You accelerate your degree whilst seeing a new city. Whilst in year 2, you rotate to Boston. Now you only have 2 of the core modules and you have 2 of your major or minor modules. And in year 3, you can stay in Boston or go back to London, and you continue with your core modules leading up and the specialization. If you accelerate using our summer programs, you can graduate from Hult International Business School in just 3 years, if that is something that you want. If you come from a more European tradition of high school, the undergraduate at Hult is only 3 years, meaning that you've taken the IB or A levels or one of the European curriculums. Then you can do the overall undergraduate at Hult in just 3 years, and you can graduate using the same principle for your summer studies in 2 years, if that is something that you want. It is not for everyone, but the option is there. Okie dokie. So some of the employment stats and some of the leading employers at Hult for the 2023 graduates: Amazon, Bloomberg, Deloitte, Estée Lauder, Uber, Uniqlo, HSBC, Google, and Airbnb are the leading employers. 95% of students are employed or pursuing an advanced degree within 6 months of graduation. 67% are working in a different country than their country of origin. It's a statistic we're very proud of. A lot of our students come from family business and they go home to help with the family business. Still 67% remain overseas. 154 companies hired Hult graduates. And the employment types: 80% are employed full-time, 9% are working in a family business, 9% have started their own business. Okay. Now, before we continue with student life, I want to share with you a quick video from our Boston campus.
Today we went out to brunch after our midterm.
Getting drenched. 4 red socks. 4 red socks.
Near Halt. This is the view right now. Buenos días. Buenos días. ¿Cómo le ha ido? Bien. Think you know what life on campus is like? Think again.
Hi everyone, my name is Rosalinda Visures, but I like going by Rosie. I am from Miami, Florida, but my family is originally from Guatemala.
The principal told I am application first.
Coming to a school as diverse as Holt, I did feel a bit intimidated at first, but I am very happy to say that I have found my home away from home. And I have made friends from literally all over the world to make Boston feel like my second home. I really love being able to work in groups and real-life business challenges to really be able to open up my mind and learn how it's done through many different culture perspectives. I first found out about Holt through one of my friends. As I started learning more and more about Holt, I felt myself falling in love with the community.
And we are currently on the train. It's Isaac, Maria, Joanna over there.
The fact that we were able to study business within our first year of starting here, I knew this was the environment that I wanted to be a part of. I myself am a part of the Women in Business Club and the Health and Wellness Club, which I will say have definitely shaped my experience here at Holt. Holt Boston is located within the city. During the weekend, I definitely love to be able to go out with friends. We have gone to many different parts of the city exploring. Sometimes we go to aquariums, museums. There's just a lot of different opportunities to pick from. When I first moved to Boston, I was very excited to leave home, leave Miami. I never realized how big the move would be and how much of an impact it would have on me. So when I first started feeling homesickness, it was definitely a new feeling for me. Holt had a lot of different people that were able to support me through it. We had advisors, we had professors even reach out to me. I have always felt supported, even from my initial steps through the application process, through my enrollment advisor, and a lot of professors, the students, the faculty, the student body, everyone just really made me feel at home. One of my favorite things about Boston is the fact that you get the best of both worlds. So you have the historical side as well as the very city-like intertwined together. Everyone was very friendly, making friends was never hard for me. I just saw it as a place for new adventures to begin.
Today.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone, for staying with us for so long. I would now like to hand back over to Max that will talk a little bit of the student engagement opportunities on our campus. And at the Q&A, we can touch more on this with Pinyapat and Jihan as well. So, Max, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kalle. And of course, if you do have questions for myself, for Jihan and Pinyapat as the stars of the show as students, please do post those in the chat so we can see those and answer them for you. But to tell you a little bit about the opportunities that students have on campus to engage outside of the classroom, we have tons of different options. We have lots of clubs and organizations that students can join. Students have an opportunity to play a role in shaping their student experience through our Holt Student Association. We have the Global Ambassador Program, where students can be involved in various different exciting opportunities for further development. But what we are most proud of is our student-led clubs, because they are exactly that. They are led, designed, and for our students. We have three key categories, which are professional, social, and sports clubs. And I'll tell you a little bit about each one of those in turn. The first thing that we have is our professional clubs. So these clubs are things like our Model United Nations, our Banking Society, our Sustainability Society, where students take the initiative to go beyond just what they do in their curriculum and further improve their skills and developments, things like debating skills in the Model United Nations, networking in the Banking Society. But crucially, these skills these clubs are there to supplement and go further than what is required as part of our curriculum for our super motivated students in those areas. So those are our professional clubs that are designed to improve and build up your professional network. We also have what our students are always keen to do, which is our social clubs. Now, these are to help build that community and build that sense of belonging here at Hult. These are things like the Creative Club or the Film Club. I have a particular soft spot for our film club here at Hult London UG. Every month they invite a professor to share their favourite film, and they do a Q&A at the end where they talk about some of the themes and how it represents what is important to the professor. Recently I was invited by our Hult London Undergraduate Film Club to share mine. We looked at a film called The Lobster, which has some fantastic and really interesting psychological themes that we discussed afterwards. Calais, I see you're laughing. It's a fantastic film with lots of learning. I highly recommend that you all watch that as well. So we have these social clubs where students can really engage in their interests. And the last thing that we have is our sports clubs. Now, these are going to be different for each campus. For example, you have the Hult Climbing Club in Boston, and you have the Hult Rugby Club in London. And the reason why I say this is because all of these clubs are not things that we as staff have created. Every single club that you have seen on the screen, plus many, many, many more, have all been the ideas of our students. They are entirely led by our students. They are entirely designed by our students and run for the betterment of our students. Of course, we do our very best to support these clubs in any way we can, whether that be hosting an event on campus or simply suggesting a film to watch with our film club. But they are student run and student led, and we do our very best to support them. So have a think about it. What clubs will you join when you come to Hull? Will they be professional clubs like the Model United Nations or the Women in Business Club? Will they be social clubs like the Creative Club or Hult Pride? Or will you, like me, jump in with the sports clubs playing football or tennis and representing Hult? So those are our clubs and societies, and a key way that students engage with us. But we also make sure that we host events on campus as well. As we have such a diverse and international student body, we aim to give students an opportunity to showcase this through the events that we do. One of my favorite events on campus each year is something called the Global Village. Now, the Global Village is an opportunity for students to showcase their cuisine from their home country. We have normally about 15 to 16 different stands where we differentiate between the clubs or the nations each year, where students come and share their favorite dishes and their favorite snacks. Now, of course, as someone who used to work in rugby, one of my favorite things to do is eat as much food as possible. So this is one of my favorite events to take part in on campus. But not just that, we also run things like the TEDx event, as well as things like Dia de los Muertos, which we're hosting on campus in London tomorrow. We also have events like our Spring Ball, where students have an opportunity to celebrate their year's achievements. The final way that our students have an opportunity to engage with us is through our Hult Student Association. This is where students have an opportunity to shape what happens on campus. Our Hult Student Association is incredibly important because they are the conduit for student feedback and student ideas between the student body and the leadership on each campus. This represents things like the head of sports, who talks about opportunities to engage with the wider community of universities in London through the sports clubs. our head of academics, who collects feedback about how students are finding the classroom and what we can be doing better and what we're doing really well. Our head of student life, who focuses on a similar thing but outside of the classroom, and many more opportunities to engage as well. Our Hult Student Association is elected by our students. They represent our students, and it's a brilliant opportunity for the students that are part of the Hult Student Association to practice their leadership and develop themselves further. Now, the last thing that I would like to do is pass back over to Calais to show you a video of course, the best campus. You have seen Boston, and I'm sure Yihan and Pinyapat would probably disagree with me, but Calais is now going to show you a video of the best city in the world, and of course, the best campus that Hult has to offer, London.
Thank you for that. Okay, so before we jump into the Q&A, we have some lovely banter between the London and the Boston campus. But Hult is small. We're a small community. The Hult is the same. Like, it's the city around you that changes, and that is what should guide your decision making about where you want to study, more than anything. But there's lots to learn from both living in Boston and London, I can assure you. But so jumping in quickly about applying to Hult, I will keep this short because it's sort of boring admin, but still important. And then we'll jump into the Q&A. So for Hult, you can apply online directly at Hult or through Common App or UCAS, depending on where in the world you are looking to go. The moment you apply to Hult, you will be assigned a designated enrollment advisor. Now, those are local-ish. So for East Asia, we have Winnie, who works for us. She's based in Hong Kong, working with Taiwan and Hong Kong and South Korea and Mongolia. We have Shinpei, who works with Japan. In addition to that, in Jakarta, we have Natalie and Haris and Margareta, who are working, and Ardi, who are working with the rest of Southeast Asia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on and on. So there is someone locally to help you with the admissions documents, to help you with the visa process, to help you with the all the logistics and admin that goes into applying for a university in the US or the UK. You're not alone in this. And you have someone who understands your background, your culture, your family, your values to help you in this process, right? The interview at Hult is mandatory. For every single student who applies needs to go through an interview. It is the most important part of the application process. We are a small community. We are looking for students who love Hult as much as we do, right? And the interview is there to ensure that it is a good fit. Hult is not for everyone, right? It's a very niche school focused only on business in the city center. If you want big green hills and be out on the countryside, you should not go to Hult. If the library is your happy place and you love theoretical learning and you want extreme structure day by day, you should maybe not go to Hult. It is not for everyone, and that's okay. That is a part of why we're doing these sessions, for you to know and feel if this is right. After that, you get an admissions decision. After a few weeks, we do rolling admissions at Hult. We don't make you wait for months and months and months. If we like you, and then we accept you. And then you should know that you're accepted. After that, we host several events for students several events for students where they can get to know each other, meet their coach, etc. And that leads up to the decision whether or not you confirm your seat to Hult. And once you confirm your seat to Hult, the seat is yours. And after that, it's a matter of getting you campus ready, engaging with our visa team, booking your accommodation, etc. But the most important thing is there is someone locally to help you from Hult International Business School. So the moment you start an application, that person will reach out to you. They will see you in our system if you apply directly to Hult. If you go through Common App or UCAS, it can take a little bit longer. But if you apply directly, they will get in touch straight away. Okay, as for scholarship and awards, we absolutely have scholarships and awards at Hult. We're an American institution. We have American scholarships, and that goes for London as well, which is important. So there's 3 kinds of scholarships that students can apply for. There are the merit-based scholarships, where it's just a matter of merit. You have to write an essay. There are several topics on our website. I'll share the link in our chat that you can choose from. We love the topics all the same. There are several topics there to help you find one that you like. The other tip is remember your audience. They could be an old professor, old-ish professor reading this essay. So remember your audience when you're writing. The second one is academic excellence. If you have a certain GPA of 3.6 or above from high school, you automatically qualify for academic excellence at Hult. That would be the equivalent of $10,000 or 7,000 pounds per year. The merit-based is $5,000 or 3,500 pounds per year. Finally, there are the need-based scholarships, the awards, which also require you to write an essay, but you also have to fill in a declaration of finance, where your family finances come into the equation. Those awards ranges from $15,000 or it's $15,000 or 10,000 pounds. Also worthy of note, whatever you are granted at Hult, you keep. Unlike some other American institutions, we will never make anyone reapply for scholarships in the 2nd year or 3rd year. Whatever you are granted before you start, you will keep for your entire duration at Hult International Business School. Okie dokie. So finally, after a long wait, we're finally here with our brilliant students, Ihan and Anya. Let me bring you up. Pinyapat, there you guys are. Thank you so much for being here in the middle of the night in Boston. I've received some questions sent to me directly, so let's start with the most basic one. Why Hult, Ihan? What was it that made you decide that Hult was the right university for you?
Honestly, starting off was definitely. Oh, and also, hello everybody, and thank you so much for the presentation and having me here. But yeah, back to the question. It's definitely the rotational programs. It was like something that's so unique and different. I've always liked traveling, and the fact that I'm gonna be going out of my home country and going to the state, but still having options to, travel to campus like in Dubai and London, gave me, like more opportunity to expand my bubble. Uh, I don't like to say that I pop my bubble. I like to expand my bubble. Therefore, it just make perfect sense to me. And during the time when I applied, we also had the Shanghai campus, but due to COVID, we can't really run that campus anymore, unfortunately. But that was actually the main thing that captured my interest was the Shanghai campus. But honestly, I'm loving Boston campus, so I can't complain.
Happy to hear
Thank
it.
you.
Pinyapat, what about you? What was it that made you decide that Hult was the right school for you?
Hi, thank you so much for the question. For me, I would go with the idea of like the diversity of the students, how Hope become like international school. I get to meet a lot of friends from different country around the world, which is like really great. And another idea of like learning by doing and hand-on experience. Like when I go to class, professor usually get the real life example or case scenario, and we have to like solve those problems in like real world business, which I think is really good when you get to learn like real time on like what's going on in the world, how you could fix this and solve that problems. It really help you to grow. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Coming as a young woman from Southeast Asia, traveling all the way to Boston, what was it like? If you take me back to when you first arrived in the city, what was it like arriving at Hult there in the beginning? Yihan, we'll start with you.
It was definitely something. I mean, first of all, my experience a little bit different simply because I missed my orientation. So it was like I joined on Thursday and then I met like my buddy and I met the professors and then Friday there's like the dinner. So it was just like a lot of information I have to take in. However, I was surprised to see that there's so much more diversity that I had in mind. I went to international school when I was in Cambodia, thinking, there's probably just like a huge population of this group of people, and then, like bunch of others here and there. But then when I show up on campus and I was talking to people, they was like telling me that they're from this part of the world. And I was like, where? And I have to go on Google Map and search up their country. So that was the shocking time for me. I was like, this is international. Like, Ihan, wake up. You had to get real. Like, and I mean, in my first year, I didn't really meet a lot of Cambodian, but by the time that I'm here, I've gathered my community. But
Yeah,
yeah, the that was definitely shocking for me. Yeah, the international part of it.
nice. Pinyapat, what about you?
For me, my first day here at Holt, I remember Ihan. She is part of my orientation body as well. I came here. I have a really bad homesick situation, and then like I came to meet my coach, and she helped me a lot. And there's also like many team around the campus, professor, staff here. They are really nice. They support me in everywhere. So now I'm really enjoying Holt a lot. Yeah.
Happy to hear it, guys. And it's an important aspect of the diversity. We do it because we know it will mature you and grow you as a person, etc., from an academic point of view. But there's another aspect to it, which is that everyone arrives in Boston and London from somewhere else. It's not that you're surrounded by 90% Americans or UK students who already know Boston and London, who are already in their comfort zone. And discovering this new city with your classmates at Hult is a huge part of the student experience as well, because everyone is in the same boat. Everyone fits in because no one fits in, sort of. What about the main? Yes, Ihan, please.
I do want to add something regarding, like discovering and learning things every single day. I was a buddy. Well, I've been doing like orientation leader for 3 consecutive years. And every single year when I have to take student to like downtown or like do something Boston stuff, right?
Mm.
They ended up teaching me something that I was like, wow, I did not know that. And I've been living here for 3 years. So it's
Yeah,
like there's always something to do, something to learn. Um, yeah, definitely
beautiful.
something, yeah, I love doing so much is, learning new things for sure.
Overall, would you guys say it was easy to make friends at Hult? Not just from Southeast Asia, but all over the world? Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you definitely have to make efforts for sure, first year, at least for me, it was tough. Uh, Thinking that, oh, I can just, hang out with anybody, be everywhere, just get to know anybody, right? And then you
Mm.
just kind of tag along with any group that you find yourself in the first week that you came to school. However, you came to realize at a certain point that like these are not your people. Not to say like they're anything bad to you, but you of course have to connect with someone that share the same values and passions as you, and therefore would also allow you to grow as well and allow you to teach them like it's a vice versa, like kind of symbiosis relationship, right? But yeah, like it's just a given of time where you actually trying to understand what you're looking for, what you're trying to get out of the school, what you're trying to get out of the people that are around you. You need to be more selective in that way, and therefore, like when you understand that, it's actually become much, much easier to find people, to get to know people, and just learn from others. I think it's like go back to trying to understand what you look for as well.
Very good. I think that's true for any university experience. It was the same thing for me. The people I met the first week was maybe not the people I became the closest friends with. But at least at Hult, being such a small environment, it's easy to identify. It's easy to find new groups. And that leads me on to the clubs and societies, Pinjapat, something that is, you're the head of club and societies in Boston. Tell us a little bit about from your perspective, the clubs and societies in Boston and the social engagements you have there.
I am part of the HSA, which is Student Holt Student Association, or like student government in high school, something like that. I am taking care of head of clubs, and I also have my own club, which is Holt Aviators. So we focus on like aviation industry. And right now in Boston campus, I would say we have around 40 something clubs, which is a lot more in professional club. We have part of like Google Club as well. We have a lot of like consulting club, Google Club, Voices of Holt. We have many things that like if you have a passion in aviation, you can definitely join my club. If you have a passion in dancing, there's a dance club for you. There's a lot that you can learn, that you can join, you can be part of, or you can even create your own club here at Holt. Like the student services team, they support you. They like even Ihan, she also has her own club right now.
Oh, nice.
So
And
it's a lot of
sorry,
activities, event, club for you to enjoy. Almost every day there's like activity on campus. Yeah.
excellent. In terms of accommodation, we saw the Boston accommodation for the students with the climbing wall and etc. in the video. Is it as nice as it looks, Pinjapat? Is the video a true representation?
It is. It is. I'm in Holt House. I'm staying in the apartment type, which is like the room that has a kitchen and a bathroom, and I have a roommate as well. In our like accommodation, we have soccer field in front of the housing. We have laundry room and dryer in every floor. We have the gym downstairs. We have the climbing wall, and we have a lot of equipment. And also we have quiet study area where it's open to everyone. We also have auditorium where you can go there and watch movie with your friends. And in here you have like you can be sure that the securities and everyone is like it's safe space here and it's near the school. You can just walk across the street and you get to the campus. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it's walking distance just over to the
Mhm.
campus, a couple of 100 meters.
Yeah, like I take 2 minutes to get to school.
Very good. Tell me a little bit about your majors, Yihan, starting with you. Which major did you choose and why?
I want to comment to something what PM Putt said. You
Sure.
said you'd walk 2 minutes? That's crazy, because it take me at least four. I think I'm a slow walker then.
Okay.
Sorry.
Even if
But
it's
go
4
back to
minutes, I think it's walking
no,
distance still.
it's extremely close by. So during the winter, it's like a lifesaver. You know, you don't have to get on the train and like do another 15. So yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, back to your question about major and minor. When I first came to Holt in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna do entrepreneurship major. But then after being a part of the uh, like the principal like introduction of the course, I realized like it wasn't really something for me because I strive more to like learn something that's more like practical and a technical skill.
Mm.
Um, But before I get there, because I still find like business analytics to be intimidating, so I just like, okay, let's do management instead. But I haven't really actually decided on something. Like it was just something I was playing in my mind, just like, let's just feel it through and understand what I really want. So then when I take management, like the classes is amazing. It's just to me, it's just not for me. There's a lot of theories, a lot you will all of course you have to apply it with your teams and all that stuff. But um I find it I find it to be like detached from what I want as my career. So then when I took business analytics with Professor Anuja, oh my God, she was amazing. Uh, the moment I took that class, I realized that you are capable of it. Like it didn't feel so scary to me anymore because the way she like told the story of how you can use data and understanding how to visualize your data, design that kind of things, and uh, show people the way you would want to show them according to the information you have, make me feel like there's so much more you can do with it. And especially when we live in a world that it's, AI technology and digitalizations, and of course, data chips and all that kind of things. Um, I want to challenge myself. And as much as I hate coding from school, like I always avoided, being a part of that class did challenge me. And I really have to actually like, okay, I need to get on data camp and learn Python. Um, so yeah, which is why I decided to be full on business analytics. And then this semester, I also decided to minor in marketing as well. So it's, like been here for over 3 years and I'm still making decisions step by step. I don't never feel like I have to rush to anything. And if I wanted someone to consolidate it with and share their opinion, I always know who to reach to, whether to professors, students, or staff member, as well as the developmental coaches. They are amazing. Like I feel like I can talk to any of them. I don't even have to feel like I just need to talk to my coach. So yeah, that's my journey for my minor and major.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you.
Before I get to Pinjapat, this is part of, we all arrive at university with an idea in our mind of what we think that the future will be, right? But part of the practical learning and what is so important about it is that it helps illustrate what you love. Like when we're younger, we have an idea of board meetings and fancy suits and cars and whatnot. It might be that we think that life is going to be, but you won't get there unless you're having fun at work, right? So we come with the idea of business analytics being the major because that's going to lead me on to some job on Wall Street, etc. But the practical learning helps show you that I'm not enjoying myself. And if you don't enjoy yourself, you can't compete out in the real world. The real world is very good at sussing out who is naturally gifted at something and who is working within their strengths. And that is what Max and his coaching team is there to help guide you so that you have the opportunity to go, you know what? I have this creative side of me that needs to come out. I am shining in the marketing aspect of these challenges. That is my path, or the leadership for the management, or this desire to create something and build something for entrepreneurship. You don't pick your major until the second year, and this is important. Allow the practical learning to guide you. Go in with an open mind so that you work towards your strengths, the part that you've always had that you maybe take for granted because it's not part of your high school GPA, but it matters to us. If you are a natural communicator, if you love winning as part of a team or you love winning on your own, if you're a developer who loves watching others succeed, this lives within you and it matters. And that is what the coaches are there for as well, to help you discover what is right for you so that you make the right decision, so that you go into the right job in a few years' time. Okay, that was the end of my preaching. Pinjapat, please tell me, what major did you pick and why?
My major is entrepreneurship and my minor is finance and marketing. But honestly, I'm taking finance right now. I'm thinking of like not doing finance anymore. It's really like not the thing that I'm really good at. I'm thinking of like changing it to psychology, but I would say like every class at Holt is really good for you to like explore and learn. Be like try it. If you're not enjoying it, if you're not having fun, you can change it anytime, and there's like no limitation where you cannot choose the class. Like every semester they offer like different classes where you can try, you can learn a lot of stuff. And I would say if Holt allowed me to take every major, I would do it except except finance.
Except finance. Okay. Very good. That's okay. Finance is not for everyone. Me being a vice president of finance and strategy myself, I studied law, right? I studied law for 4.5 years. It took me 4.5 months in a law firm to realize I don't want to be a lawyer, right? And had I had practical learning, I would have figured that out at uni already, right? But I got very lucky. Right? I got lucky to find this job because I'm a person who loves to build and I love to travel and I love to meet people. And lawyers have to be really careful and they have to slow things down and they have to read things 15 times. And that's just not who I am as a person. But it's not until you go into the real working world or you do it practically that you realize that. And that is why, again, I stress so much. You hear Pinyapat and Jihan both saying they're a little bit all over the place, but at least they have the opportunity to discover, right, which path feels right. And that is crucial, to go there and try it and live it, not just study the theory of the subject, because if that's all you do, you don't really know whether or not you will enjoy it. And the irony is now I majored in international taxation. I was a tax lawyer for international taxation. And the irony is I've spent my life building Hult, which is a charity, a non-for-profit charity that will never, ever, ever pay any tax ever. So that is the turns that life can take. And I'm very happy to hear that Jihan and Pinyapat are both discovering this at uni. And you don't have to do it in your actual career that I had to, like I had to. Okay, very good. Just checking, sorry if I'm going in and out. I have some questions. There are questions about our tuition fees. That is on hult.edu. As I'm running the seminar, I struggle to go out and without sharing, I can't share my screen and pull things from our website at the same time. But on hult.edu, there are exactly what the tuition fees is, what the accommodation cost, and the details about the scholarships. Scholarship opportunities that we have at Hult. We have to round this up because we've gone for 1 hour, 15 minutes already. More questions are coming in the Q&A. Let me just have a look. Are there individual rooms available on each campus? And to clarify, do students graduate with a diploma or a degree? So yes, there are individual study spaces on campus. Pinyapat and Jihan can testify to this. There's a lot of teamwork, so there have to be individual rooms on campus. Max, as for what the students graduate with, a diploma or a degree, would you like to clarify what the
Yeah, it's a full degree. So we have degree awarding powers in both the US and the UK. So depending on where you graduate, that will dictate which degree you get. But we have a full degree awarding power, so students do graduate with a degree. We talk about a diploma just as the actual physical thing that you receive. But yes, students graduate with a full degree. We have degree awarding powers in both the US and the UK.
Thank you, Max. As for the TOEFL and SAT, we do not have specific TOEFL and SAT requirements. It's at Hult for admissions purposes. But as I mentioned, the interview is absolute key. So the interview is where we test you may require an English test for visa purposes, but since we do an in-person interview with every student, that is how we assess English ability of our students. As for the IB requirement that is also in question about, there are no specific IB requirement or additional subjects. Again, the interview is where we truly get to know you as a person or as a student. We want to talk about your extracurriculars. We want to talk about your experiences outside of the classroom. But me personally, if someone has studied science in high school and realized that that's not the right path for them, I love those students. They have already started their growth mindset journey. They've been down one path. They don't go on autopilot, right? They've studied science and realized this is not the right thing for me. So we don't dictate. There's no specific math requirements either. But if you want to take a business analytics major, I strongly encourage that you enjoy it, right? Because if you don't, you're going to have a really hard time keeping up with people that do enjoy math out in the real world. But again, I'm not going to dictate that. Any student that have found their path and truly love a subject can get through the business analytics major as well without a specific math requirements. But if you don't enjoy math, yes, then it's going to be much harder. As for how much students spend each month on rent, food, and leisurely activities, there are on our website as well, there are living costs in Boston, but why don't we turn to Jihan? What can you say about living in Boston? It's of course super individual, and it's a hard question to answer. But how much does it cost to sort of live as a student in Boston, Massachusetts?
I was waiting for this question because I do have answer for this. Since I'm working as the enrollment intern as well, I do get asked a lot since, like I will reach out to students, but I would say that around 600 to $700 a month is definitely more than enough for you, and you still have a lot of leftover to just do things that you want to do or, eat out and all that kind of stuff. But if you're frugal, like max $400, you can definitely feel comfortable to, like get grocery and cooks on your own. But if not, and you want to order out maybe twice a week or something like that, I would say like up to $700, like you can still do that. And if I'm missing anything, like Pod, you can add into it and see if that's true. I definitely know that there's like students that would definitely go over that. But I'm just like trying to find a good price, like ideally that if you have this much, you should be able to be living comfortably. Yeah. More than that, then it's good for you.
Very good. Thank you, Jihan. We have some questions in the chat in regards to IB requirements, etc. Since there are many people in here with different who attend the different schools, if you attended an IB school, Hult undergraduate is a 3-year program. As for the specific requirements, if you just start an application at hult.edu, your local enrollment advisor will reach out to you. You don't need to complete the application, you just start it. They will reach out and they will be able to answer in much more detail about what applies to your specific country or your specific high school curriculum. I don't try to avoid the question. I just promise it's a much better experience for you to talk to your local enrollment advisor about these topics. That takes a little bit more time. Very good. Okay, we need to round this up. Everyone has stayed a long time. I appreciate it. There are university rankings on our website as well. If you scroll down, you can see the specific rankings for undergraduate, masters, and MBA at Hult International Business School. I know that it is important to parents, absolutely. The last question, and before we go to the last question, wherever you decide to study or thinking about studying, the answer is not online. The answer is not, unfortunately, with the rankings. I wish that was the simple truth. The answer is with the students who attend the university you think you want to go to. You've met Ihan and Pinjapat today. It's also possible to go on Hult's website and book a session with a student. If you want to be a business student, businessman or businesswoman, you have to be brave. You have to go out there and talk to people, right? So you can book a time with our students on our website and get one-to-one with their major, whether it be in London or Boston. And that is the best way for you to understand what Hult International Business School is like as an institution. And it goes for anywhere you want to study, in the US, in the UK, Australia, or Canada, or anywhere in the world. Talk to their students. That they are the ones who will tell you what the experience is truly like. I love Hult too much. I spent my whole life building it. Max as well. We're super invested in this. It is the students you need to talk to. That is my most primary advice for any student looking to go somewhere in the world. Now, Pinjapat and Jihan. For the final question, starting with you, Pinjapat. What do you feel that this curriculum at Hult and this environment of diversity, etc., has given you in terms of your growth and development? It's a big question, but if you compare Pinjapat today to the young woman who arrived in Boston, what would you say that your journey has been like so far?
Oh, I would have to say that I am an only child at home, so everyone is taking good care of me. So when I step out from my home country, I start to I have to learn every single thing from the beginning, like how to make the bed, how to cook, how to do the laundry, like every single thing. So I have learned and I have grown a lot. I get to meet a lot of people from different countries. I get to learn their idea, their culture, their business. And the thing is, I get to learn their food, how to cook, and they help me a lot. And I would say being here at Hult, they teach me not only how to be independent, how to be a businesswoman. It also teach me how to look at the future, how do you should plan your business, your how entrepreneurship skill, they build that skill in you. Yeah.
Thank you, Pinjapat. What about you? What about you, Jihan? How do you feel Hult has helped you grow and progress?
I think the main thing for me is definitely the growth mindset and know how to think critically. This is gonna sound repetitive, but being at Hult made me realize so much about my own values and the values that I can add to the table, whichever room that I show up in. Understanding that will take you so much further than trying to know everything. It's just be good at what you're good at. Like what you want to specialize in, focus on that and just go all in. And truly knowing how to apply what you learned and continuing learning. So I'm just gonna use this metaphor from a machine learning class that I'm taking. If you have a model and you have an accuracy of 100%, that model is definitely something that's not right. It's suspicious because it's mean that the model is just memorizing thing instead of learning how to learn things. So if it's 100%, they just memorizing the data set and how the data is sitting and doing things. And therefore, if you just tweak it a little bit, it's it's done. It's because now it's oh my goodness, I have a new feature, new attribute. I don't know what to do. This is not what I was taught to memorize. But if your model is 99.33% accuracy, that's mean there's a rooms for adjustment and grow. So this model will learn itself along the way because it understand how to learn. And that is something that I learned from Hult, is knowing how to learn and knowing how to apply that. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. That was just the class I had last Wednesday.
Beautiful, Jihan. I think a beautiful way to finish this Q&A in this virtual open house today. I couldn't have thought of anything better to say than that. It is a joy to get to know yourself and understand yourself and accept yourself. And once you and it comes with the confidence that you find. And when you find that, it opens up a whole new growth mindset, as we call it. And you look at learning differently. Thank you so much, Professor Max. Thank you for being here at 5 a.m. Pinyapat and Jihan, thank you for staying up and representing Hult at 1 o'clock in the morning in Boston to share your experiences. Thank you to all the students who and parents who decided to attend today. I hope that this was enlightening and helped you in your decision making. Again, if you have more questions and interests about Hult, you start an application and someone will reach out and can have a longer one-to-one. If you want to talk to a student, please go to our website and you can just book yourself in to talk to anyone in London or in Boston. It is super important for us at Hult, being a small university with limited number of seats, that you make the right decision. We want you to know exactly who we are so that you make the right decision for you. If Hult is not the right school for you, that's totally okay. There's so many alternatives out there. That's no problem. But if we're the right school for you, we would love to talk to you. So with that being said, thank you everyone for being here today. Have a lovely weekend and good luck to you all with your university applications. Thank you again, Jihan, Pinyapat, and Max. I will reach out to you all separately. Bye-bye.
I'm going back.